Hey everybody, this is Sean with Phoenix Underman Games. I'm here with Devin today, fresh out for Nats. He's going to show us his Infernity build. Devin?
What's up, guys? I play, for starting monsters, I play 3 Infernity Archfiend. A staple monster in the deck is the best monster in your deck, actually. Every time you special summon, you get to search for an Infernity spell or trap card. So he's your go-to monster. You want him for everything. This is he's backed up by his main bro, Necromancer. This deck is basically no cards in your hand, so you always want to have no cards in your hand. So the monster count isn't going to be very big, but you'll see why. So Necromancer, when you have no cards in your hand, you can special summon 1 Infernity monster from your graveyard, and you already know who to special summon since I said it's your go-to guy. You special summon Archfiend. So that's Necromancer's main purpose. After, we got triple Stygian Street Patrol, amazing monster for this deck, because when you banish him from your graveyard, you can special summon 1 Fiend from your hand. So essentially, after you set all your cards and do everything with your combo, you banish Street Patrol from graveyard, Infernity Archfiend. You'll see where Street Patrol comes in with other monsters in the deck here in a second. I play 2 Tin Goldfish. Not everybody plays this, but when Tin Goldfish is normal summon, you can special summon a level 4. It makes great Lavalval chain plays, and especially if you just open 10 Goldfish and Infernity Archfiend, you've already got your combo going as well. Archfiend Eris, she's actually amazing when she's dumped by Lavalval chain or other monsters, or even detached for monster effects. You can search out Infernity Archfiend or Palabyrinth, which is another field spell that sets up combos, as I'll show you when I get done with monsters. I play 1 Summoner Monk, 1 Armageddon Knight, and 1 Dark Greffer. Dark Greffer, simple. Gets rid of monsters in your hand, makes opens plays and everything. Armageddon Knight, I can either dump, Infernity Archfiend, or I can dump Patrol to the graveyard. It's just very simple, even special summon. Summoner Monk, if you open Summoner Monk and Rhoda, you're in a really good spot because you can just pitch Rhoda and go off with Summoner Monk. So that's pretty much the monster lineup. It's only 15 monsters, it's pretty small, so get that out of your guys' way. Go to the spells, because this Infernity has abused this card right here, Soul Charge. As I said, anytime Archfiend is special summoned, you get to search. So if you use Soul Charge, opens plays for this deck for days. It's an amazing card for Infernities. 1 MST, because MST is bad this format, because Hat is real. Dark Hole is just broken. This is the Palabyrinth I was talking about. This play right here. So basically, if you have Archfiend on the field, you can target another Fiend monster, banish the Fiend monster, and special summon another Archfiend. So you basically get searches for days. 1 Rhoda searches out Dark Greffer and searches out Armageddon Knight. Mind Control, because it's a completely broken this format. It helps me make Lavalval chain faster, so I can set up my combos and my plays for this turn or next turn. 1 Book of Moon. Book of Moon's also broken. Saves your life. Foolish Burial dumps Street Patrol, and depending on what my hand looks like, I can dump Infernity Archfiend to the graveyard. Infernity Launcher. This card's at 1 for a very good reason. It's searchable, and it special summons 2 Infernity monsters from your graveyard. So, that's all that needs to be said. The spell lineup isn't too big, but they're all broken spell cards. As for trap lineup, the Infernities play a pretty good, decent amount of traps. You got triple Infernity Break, basically your staple trap card. It's like Raigeki Break, except you don't have to have cards in your hand. You banish 1 card. It's a very strong card, especially for in phase, and if you have edge on your opponent. Because if you know you have edge on your opponent, you basically win. Especially since it's searchable because it has Infernity. I play 2 Wiretap also. Wiretap is good. Just this format basically. Since we only got 1 Infernity Barrier now, 2 other counter trap cards make the deck really strong. I play 2 Breakthrough Skills. Infernities can't play Veiler. You can't play hand traps in Infernities, so Breakthrough Skill is I'm going to stop my opponent's monster's effects. So that's really strong to have in this deck. I play 1 Blackhorn. Stops the special summoning. The deck's already fast enough on its own. I usually have an advantage over my opponent in the first place, but Blackhorn is for those rogue decks like Raccoons or even Evil Swarms now. Evil Swarms is starting to seem kind of rogue to me, a personal opinion. And these are this is a single trap. I'm going to show you guys the other single traps. I play one trap stun just because right now wiretap is being main decked like at 2 to 3. So the chances of you actually pulling off trap stun is not very, very strong. One compulse because it's at 1. It's amazing. Gets monsters off the field. Stops single big plays like Madolches, for instance. Solemn Warning, this card's extremely broken just because it stops anything you want your opponent to do summon-wise. So, 1 Torrential Tribute. If you're behind, your opponent's making monsters you can't keep up, Torrential Tribute's usually the answer. Bottomless Trap Hole, great against any card you want to basically banish, like Judgment Dragon, because that's a real card. Get rid of Judgment Dragon, but your opponent's probably going to drop 2 more on you, so it doesn't really matter. And Infernity Barrier. This card's huge in the deck because it stops. It's like Infernity Barrier is like Solemn Warning, except it doesn't stop summonings, but I can still stop Fire and Ice Hand, and those are extremely real monsters this format. So the trap lineup's extremely strong, especially with Infernities. Move to the side deck. What I sided 1 D-Fish. I know you guys think it's probably weird playing Infernities, you need your graveyard for D-Fish, but usually you're just overlaying, so like when you overlay and you detach, material isn't counted as being banished, so it still goes to the graveyard. So it's extremely good against Lightsworns. That's basically why I put this in here as Lightsworns. Macros Cosmos is a no-no because it definitely sends my monsters to graveyard even if I detach. Play 2 MSTs because people like to side Decree. Decree is a no-no for my deck. Nobleman of Crossout was good against hands and Hat and Yugioh in general, so it's pretty good. Blackhorn of Heaven, I sided 1 out just in case. I did play against people who overlaid a lot. 2 Vanity's Emptiness, very strong card. It was a very strong card at Nats because people were playing Lightsworn Rulers, so Vanity's Emptiness was like just saying no to Judgment Dragon and Blaster and Tidal and Redox and all those other big niggas my deck can't get over. 2 Light Imprisoning Mirrors for Boojins and for also Lightsworn Rulers. Yeah. 2 Trap Tricks, Trap Hole Nightmare. This card was extremely useful, especially against the mirror match and other situations. I want to give you guys another example of where this card was good, but it's good any Madolche, especially in Madolche match, because they have to use it. If they have to do their combo in 1 turn, or else they're going to lose next turn. And then Triple Debunk. That was this was my go-to card probably all Nats this weekend, because Debunk was stopping everything.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Hat. Basically, Hat was like the main deck at Nats. So that's the side. See, I got 2 minutes. And this is the extra deck. The extra deck is very important for Infernities. Like, you need this, and it's pretty pricey to be honest, but you need this to win. 2 Lava Vault Chains. They set up your Archfiend plays and your Stygian Street Patrol plays, also your Archfiend Eris plays. So that's like your first Exceed summon ever for Infernities. 1 Downard. So I'll put this one aside and show you guys Downard later. Rhapsody and Berserk was huge for this weekend. Banishing Lightsworns and other such monsters from your opponent's graveyard was really big, and it boosts your monster's attack. 1 Dweller, again for Hat and other situations like Mermails. This really stopped Mermails for me this week. 2 Diamond Dire Wolves, because I don't play MST. I play 1 MST, but Diamond Dire Wolf really stopped Macros Cosmos for me. It stopped Imperial Iron Wall, not Imperial Iron Wall. Royal Decree. Stopped Royal Decree for me and everything, set up my plays. 1 Key Beetle. The Key Beetle lock with Infernity Barrier is extremely strong. That way your opponent can't just be like MST and you're like, well, I'm forced to Infernity Barrier. No, that's not the case. So you use Key Beetle. 1 Exciton Knight. Going second for me, and Exciting Knight, my opponent, when they were going first, was big and caused most players to scoop after they realized what I was playing. 2 Honor Arcs, because I have a problem getting over big monsters like Belize and other cards I can't get over. Cowboy to finish my OTK and or FTK. I FTK'd about 2 or 3 people during Nats, and Cowboy just helped that out. Because you do 14 version, you do 18, 18, 18, and then overlay for Cowboy for game. Blackhorn again for Hat. and Madolche. And here's where Downer came in, Levier and Alucard. There's overlay for either one of these. Do what they need to do, and then just put Downer over it, so I don't have a little tiny monster on field. And that's it. That's the deck profile for Infernities. Thanks,
Just
guys.
giving you guys a little taste of what Nats is like and how hard it is for the competition to be up there. And this wraps up another deck profile from Phoenix Anime Games.